to move up a traditional ladder using the things that we're taught at school is that we'd have to start to look at larger corporations and business. So that means you can go and spend 5 or 10 years in a business, learn all this cool stuff, and then eventually you're going to have to move. It's bullshit. How's that going to help you in your entrepreneur skills? How's that going to help you become an A player? Wouldn't it be great to know that you're in the right place already? You're already in a great vehicle, yeah? This great vehicle can then give you the opportunity and the potential to then move forward and create what you want. Welcome to the A Players Podcast, your go-to place for equipping yourself with the tools and strategies that you need so that you can reach the next level in your career and your personal income. It's our core purpose to give the opportunity for everyone to earn more and help you reach your next level of income, no matter what career you are in. I'm your host and your guide on that journey, coach to very high performance executives, Lewis Haydon. It's my job to make sure you have the right tools, the mindset, and those strategies so that you can make the most of opportunities in your life when they arrive. So today, ladies and gents, how did you get on with yesterday's podcast, by the way? Have you listened to the previous podcast? Yeah? Go back and listen to it. Absolute game changer. If you're not in the moment and you're not using those tools, then we just mentioned opportunities coming up, right? When the opportunity arises, we need to make sure, bang, A players are ready. They are ready for when the opportunity strikes. We are ready to strike. Strike hard, strike fast. Yeah, Karate Kid. Yeah, look, if you haven't got these tools and you haven't got this proactive mindset, you become very reactive. And the last thing I want you to be doing, A players, is to be going out there, having great opportunities come up. And if you can't harness that opportunity, then guess what? You're not making the most of it in that moment of time. And you have to wait for another opportunity to come by. And it may be too late. You've already missed it. Yeah. So you ever heard the saying, you've only got 3 seconds to make an impact on somebody or somebody along a timeline where you may have known them for a while, but how you respond in that timeline, in that 3 seconds to an opportunity depends on what you're going to make out of it, whether it's going to be that you grasp it or whether you just let it slip. And if that person's offering you an opportunity as well, you need to be able to strike. You need to be able to strike with it with the right tools, the right levels of confidence, and the right ability to give that person the confidence, not just your internal confidence, their confidence in you. So you need to be able to convey confidence as well. Yeah? So today then, A players, we're going to talk about the different there's 2 careers, and this comes from a bit of research I've been looking at lately. And again, it's quite fascinating to see from the PhD world. Yeah, I don't talk about it too much in the podcast because we're talking about A players. I want you to talk about actionable stuff. I don't want to get lost in fucking theories and all sorts with you guys. I'm just dragging it out of there and putting it into the real world so we can apply it. And some of the research that's coming up quite lately is really interesting, actually. It's looking at different sorts of careers, yeah? So if you think about a traditional career, where the traditional career is around that you're a part of a career ladder, the boring old stuff of let's go in there and start off at this sort of student level and start to work our way up there in towards, being very good at our jobs and then into management, which I don't actually agree with. Why would somebody who's very, very good at a technical thing then think that they're automatically just great at a management role just because they've been there for a longer period of time? Does not make sense. Yeah, you want to be trained in management and move forward from there. I'd rather have great managers that aren't as technically orientated, yeah, and to keep the technically orientated as the superstars that are going out there and making that stuff happen as well. So why is it that to actually progress in a traditional career that you have to become a manager? It does not make sense. The superstar is good at the superstar job. Just because they're good at the superstar doesn't automatically make someone a manager. I get it that people need space to move, but that's just bad structure. That's just bad structure in a traditional way of doing this, yeah? So what sort of things are there in a traditional career is that we would hope that we'd move up the ladder. whatever that ladder may look like. What does that mean? Well, we have to be in a bigger business, don't we? To move up a traditional ladder using the things that we're taught at school is that we'd have to start to look at larger corporations and business. So that means you can go and spend 5 or 10 years in a business, learn all this cool stuff, and then eventually you're going to have to move. It's bullshit. How's that going to help you in your entrepreneur skills? How's that going to help you become an A player? Wouldn't it be great to know that you're in the right place already? You're already in a great vehicle, yeah? This great vehicle can then give you the opportunity and the potential to then move forward and create what you want, yeah? So traditional career, we're taught it at schools, right? We've taught it, it's been going on for such a long time. It comes back and dates back to the 1900s of this career ladder. And to go even further and further to get paid more, we have to then start to think about, well, where's the next big job? I need to go and work for Apple one day. I need to go and work for Red Bull one day. Great, traditional career. Here's what the research is saying though. More and more people nowadays are starting to take ownership for their life. What does that mean? Taking ownership for their life means, just open a few windows in here, it's a little bit warm talking about this sort of stuff, get so passionate about it. The taking ownership for their life revolves around, well, going to get another second job maybe, yeah? Going to get a second job. What a shame it is to start thinking that, hey, my career isn't providing me with enough income that I have to now go and get a second job. So rather than climbing one mountain, you're climbing 2 mountains. Yeah? Well, where's the sense in that? Wouldn't you rather have a superstar that's really good at one thing? Why take your strengths and have to apply it in different areas to something that may not even be one of the core strengths? What about if you could just focus on the one role that you are meant to do? Yeah. So what other options are there if people want to take ownership and, go through this financial crisis that we're in? Well, they would, I don't know, they'd have to start looking at cutting back. Yeah. Cutting back to save more money so they can start to, spend it on their cost of living. What a shame. That shouldn't have to be. Yeah. But the traditional career teaches people that ownership of their success lies in the company. The other side of the spectrum, the research side, is in this area of boundaryless careers. Okay, a boundaryless career, a career where there is no boundary. You're not bound within the confinements of the ladder, the corporate ladder, which ultimately means that you don't get a promotion unless somebody leaves or dies. I don't know about you, A players, but that doesn't sound like it's something that I want to be a part of. So why did we chase this dream to then move towards a corporate ladder? It doesn't make sense. Now, the danger here is that people go, hey, Lewis, I hear what you're saying. I need to be in a boundaryless career as well if I'm going to go and make more success for me and my family. Well, what does that come to then? The conclusion leads to that they need to go and start their own business. Wrong. You don't need to start your own business. The research in boundaryless careers shows that the criteria for it isn't about becoming an entrepreneur. You don't need to go out there and go through all this. In fact, if you go out there and start your own business, think about the sort of benefits that you actually lose. Yeah. One day you may start to make your millions or whatever it may be, but the likelihood of that happening is going to take a lot of work and a lot of hustle. And some people just aren't in that position yet because they need the security of a job as well. So a boundaryless career doesn't have to be somebody that goes out there and starts something on their own. So what other options are there then? If you are going to be in a boundaryless career, and it doesn't mean that you're going to start your own business, and great, by the way, I love entrepreneurs. I love people going out there and making their own business. But the world is full of fucking coaches and people trying to push that. And it's not the only way. Okay? It's not the only way. And if somebody has that belief that that is the only way, it's holding them back. Interference, again. Ever heard of people, well, the dream is one day I just want to start my own business. I was speaking to 2 people the other day, 2 people in the medical industry working in the NHS, and they said that, one day it'd be great to start our own business. How can they be great in their job if they're in the back of their mind, they're going, one day I'm going to leave here and start something else? Yeah? Just imagine. That's in the back of your mind all the time. Listen to the last episode. What did we speak about? Interference. So can that person be a 10 out of 10 if they think that their answer to success is to go and start their own firm? Yeah? What about if that person could be in a boundaryless career within an organisation? Right? Now, if you think about it, lads and gents, what's the likelihood? Well, let's go through the criteria. A boundaryless career is something where somebody can move physically towards something to take ownership of their own results, right? So they can move through physical boundaries. What that means is that they can move from network to network or from community to community. They can move from place to place. They can physically move. They can move financially, physically. If they want to increase their income, they have that opportunity to. If they want to decrease their income and have more time, they can, yeah? Or they can have both, more income and more time. Now, we spoke about this in previous episodes, right? For that to happen, we need to be thinking about how do we have that win-win conversation with the person that is controlling that vehicle, yeah? And look, here's the thing. If you're part of a business that isn't growing, yeah? If you're part of a business that isn't growing, what's the likelihood, right? And no, I'll reframe this. It's not that it's not growing. It's that they don't have a growth mentality. Because there could be some external factors that's stopping that from growing right now, and they could really want to grow, yeah? And as long as they want to grow and they're pursuing growth, then you know that that growth is going to mean that you're going to grow too, if you choose to, yeah? This has got to be a two sides to this coin, yeah? You've got to want to grow, they have got to want to grow, the business has got to want to grow as well. If that's the case, you're talking in the same language where there's a win-win intention, right? There's a direction that you can travel with that business that can become a win-win. If you're in a position where that business does not want to grow, there's only one direction that will go. And you think it stay the same, it's not an option. It will decrease. Who wants to be a part of a sinking ship? Yeah, people will leave. So just a bit of a note there as well. Be a part of a business that wants the intention to grow. Yeah, they're doing what they can. They're invested in their people. They're invested in new processes, systems, new sales, new marketing, new operations. The lot, yeah, it's all growing. It's all coming together. A players are part of those businesses. Now, here's the interesting part, okay? If you're in a boundaryless career and the boundaryless career doesn't just mean becoming and starting your own business. There's an opportunity to create the boundaryless career, your success, by you taking ownership and working harder on yourself and your job to move forward. Yeah, as long as it's a win-win with the person who is running the business, then you can win too. In fact, what about if you was to make so much value in that business and others around there as well, and you all come together, as that business grows, you grow. Yeah, that's just a conversation to have and demonstrate, prove it that you're serious about the growth of that. And you've got to be sensible with it, right? You can't just start calling out these stupid numbers because the business owner has to think about the other departments as well, right? But there's also got to be that sort of win-win as well, where that person will want to see you grow and will offer you new positions and a position where there's a win-win involved in it too. But only if you're proactive enough to think about it. Back to the start. Opportunity, right? Spotting opportunity. How much opportunity as an entrepreneur? What sort of things do entrepreneurs do? Yeah, have you seen the thing? You give somebody some lemons, an entrepreneur make lemonade and sell it for 10 times the price. Yeah? Entrepreneur mentality, seeing opportunity. An intrapreneur, somebody within a business that is taking ownership of their results by building that business and making it a win-win. That's how we need to be thinking as well. And that is the definition in the science world of a boundaryless career. So it doesn't just have to be somebody who starts a firm. Executives and employees can be boundaryless career advocates too. So, players, we now discussed a boundaryless career. Ask yourself, are you in a boundaryless career? If you think you're not in a boundaryless career, I really want you to test that and look around for opportunity that you think you can see. And don't just point fingers and say, hey, look, I'm not in a boundaryless career, Lewis. I'm in a traditional career. I think maybe I should jump ship, right? That's bullshit. Is there opportunity for you? You need to really think about this and open you outside the box. How do we get outside the box thinking? Well, we need to start taking some ownership first. It's not good just going and pointing fingers and saying, hey, I deserve to be in something where I get a bit of a win-win from the things that we do. Whether that could be just we speak about this in the 100K club, don't we? We speak about how do we just get that first 10% increase. Then we talk about the further increase as well, as long as we're adding value. The people that are not the A players, the zero players in this game, are the people that go, hey, I deserve that because of this, and this. Yeah, they're not prepared to put the learning in. They're doing it from a self-entitled perspective rather than putting the hard work in and working on yourself. Yeah, work harder on yourself than you do in your job. Yeah, that doesn't mean don't work hard in the job as well, but work harder on yourself than you do in your job. So what sort of learning are you doing? What sort of books are you reading? Are you the go-to expert in your field? If you are the go-to expert in the field, that business is going to want to nurture you, not just nurture you, but you to become a mentor amongst the culture of that business, a culture champion, somebody who's making it happen, making the business grow. You've got to look at the business's goals and vision and mission, right? What sort of things can you do to contribute towards that vision and mission? Because if they're serious about that vision and mission, and it's not just something above the fucking wall just because it looks good, if they're serious about it, they're going to want to achieve that faster. So A players, what can you do? There's just a few clues, right? Just a few clues of how to do this. We talk more about this in the 100K club. You know what to do to get in the 100K club. So where does this go from here then? How do we start to figure out what makes a good boundaryless career person? What makes you an A player? Are A players boundaryless career people? Well, there can be traditional careers. It's not to slam traditional careers because there is success to be made in traditional careers. You can see that. There's evidence around it by looking at successful people, But what I'm saying here is from a boundaryless career perspective, sometimes we just need to look for opportunity in the situation we're in right now, which is how we started this podcast. Rather than pointing fingers and following everybody else because they've given up, they've pointed fingers at the boss and say, hey, look, this is just the way it's going to be forever. That's bullshit, If we started to take some ownership and start to improve ourselves, the more opportunity will come. So here's a question for you then. Now we spoke about the traditional career and more opportunity would be in larger businesses. Where do you think the opportunity lies in a boundaryless career? If the traditional business thinks, and it will go this way, by the way, it will go as more research and more findings come out, they find that boundaryless career people are the A players that want to have more flexibility and adaptability and more time and more, finances be taking ownership of things. So businesses have to move this way. However, they have a lot of structures, a lot of systems, and a lot of culture. And remember as well, not everybody is an A player. And I don't mean that in a way of like going, hey, look, I'm an A player and you're not. Not everybody wants to be an A player. Some people are happy where they are. They're happy with doing the 9 to 5 and keeping the traditional career. They're happy with it, right? So it's not our place as A players to start putting it in their face and saying, look, you shouldn't be thinking like that. That's a big lesson that we all need to capture as A players, is not everybody wants to be an A player, But the 2% of the people out there and the 100% of the people that are listening to A Players podcast right now, you do want to be an A player. So these rules apply. So back to the question then. Do you think a larger business where there's structures and a lot of culture that's in place and not everybody wanting to be an A player? So if they put this boundaryless career option in place, how is it going to affect everybody else? Or a smaller business where there's more adaptation, more flexibility. You're in touch with the owners, the directors, rather than having to go through the chain of command and hardly speaking to somebody that you hardly ever know. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that there's a lot more flexibility in a smaller business, an SME, yeah, small to medium enterprise, than there could be for a larger business as well. So just a bit of thought there. If you are in a smaller business right now, or you're looking for a career, we get 18-year-olds listening to the A Players podcast that want to move forward, and they want to jump straight into the big corporate companies and think that's where the money is. Yeah, not necessarily. If you're going to be an A player, then sometimes, what about if you went and helped a smaller business so much and you became so valuable? Who knows? You could be one of the owners of that firm, one of the shareholders, as you take that business towards 5, 10, 20, 30 million. And if you're responsible for that, hey, look, you're an A player. Why would a small business not want to promote their A players? And if you're the person that can go out in front of their customers, in front of their teams, yeah, and inspire and get leverage in a firm with the skills that you know because you read a fucking book a week. A players read books a week, by the way. Yeah, 1 book a week, A players. There's your homework. Yeah. If you're an A player, then yeah, you are going to get more opportunity in an SME. Yeah. Not so there is an opportunity in the large firms as well. There is. Yeah. And also, if there is an opportunity out there as an entrepreneur, and I think the entrepreneur word is thrown out there. I prefer the word business owner. I think a business owner has a lot more respect in my world than the word entrepreneur. Ultimately, as an entrepreneur, is when you're buying and selling businesses and you're investing in firms, yeah? But today on Instagram, according to Entrepreneur, how do you become an entrepreneur? You just change your name, yeah? Anyone can be an entrepreneur. So I really respect intrapreneurs, ultimately. The people that are prepared to put the hard work in, to have the conversations, to go win-win with the business owner, with the management team. And also, a block that A players may have is with managers, yeah? If your manager isn't an A player because they've earned the right of manager by being there for a long time, well, there's a fucking problem there. Yeah, there is a problem. So that's something that can block your way, your physical boundary of actually moving if there's a manager that doesn't have a growth mindset. Yeah, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame. And if that company does, and, I'd recommend them getting a business coach straight away. Yeah, because if that's where they're at, then there needs to be some sort of reflection of what that constraint is on the firm. And it's a real shame when there's somebody blocking it in the way. Okay. So, A players, what have you took from today? Yeah. What have you took from today? What sort of things can you do as a boundaryless career A player? Yeah. Are you going to choose to be on the traditional career side and listen to Uncle Bob and the way, take their tips of, what you need to do is get in a steady job and when you need to do that. Okay, great. A players take some risk, right? They take some risk, but they're also stable because stability is a big part of moving forward as well, isn't it? Yeah. So what about if there's an in-between? Somebody that's prepared to take a few more risks, have a few more tougher conversations, and have that conversation with the best intent, not just to sell to somebody and overpromise and underdeliver, yeah, but go out there and overpromise and overdeliver as well, yeah, because you can't. There's the saying about underpromise, overdeliver. I get it, yeah, but salespeople don't sell by underpromising. They have to overpromise, and then they have to overdeliver on that overpromise. So there's no overpromising, is there? There's promising and delivering, ultimately. Yeah? Different podcast, I guess. So, what are you going to get up to, A players? Have a think about this. This is your homework for today. Where is the boundaryless career? What sort of things do you need to do? And if you are a business owner listening to this, do you want to employ boundaryless people or traditional people? Why would you want to limit your people? Yeah. Who are your A players? If you do want A players, then you need to be thinking along these lines of how they can win just as much as you in your business. And for an A player business owner as well, what about how this applies in sales? Yeah. What sort of boundaryless careers, people are you dealing with? Do you want to be dealing with more people that want to go on the journey with you as A players, or do you want to be dealing with some salesperson in a larger business that perhaps isn't really in it for the A player mentality, which is to make a bigger impact in the world. Yeah. So have a good think about that one, and just remember as well the adjuvants, which means the things that contribute towards someone's success, is for an A player, for a boundaryless career A player, is that they have a good network of people. This is actual science research, by the way. This is some of the findings when they looked at boundaryless careers, is to find out what makes them what makes them successful. When somebody goes out and they go into a boundaryless career, some of the things that they start to face with is that they're now on their own. They're on a journey on their own. Yeah. So some of the adjuvants are that people find community. They find ways of educating themselves. They find ways of making themselves accountable towards their success. Because when you're in a boundaryless career and it gets quite lonely, you need to be aware that you're just there with your own thoughts. You're not in a traditional career where somebody else is in charge of your success. So you are in charge of your success. What that does mean, however, is that you've got to be in charge of your own mindset, your own learning, your own community, yeah? Finding these people to go on this journey with. And hopefully, you listening to the A Players podcast is just the first start in that. So if you can help somebody else who's in a boundaryless career to move forward right now, who knows? They may need a great community around them too. Yeah. So get them listening to the A Players podcast. And also, you can connect with Coach Lewis Haydon, myself on LinkedIn. Yeah. Be great, A Players. Catch you in the next episode. You have been listening to the A Players podcast. The music played in the podcast is Prelude and Fugue Nightmare by Musical Basics. You can check them out on Spotify and YouTube. For any inquiries, comments, or discussions around this podcast, then connect with Lewis Haydon on LinkedIn.